Hey, true believers, Matt Sardo, Monkeys Fighting Robots, and today we are talking about the Schlub, #1 from Image Comics. Oh man, this thing is crazy. Ryan Stegman and Kenny Powers, no, I want to call him Kenny Powers because of the book, but it's Kenny Porter are the writers on this. And then Tyrell Cannon of Beef Bros fame. It's super amazing that when I get a Kickstarter book in the mail and then I'm like, okay, a few years or a year later, this person is now doing an image book. Like, that's pretty amazing to happen. So a big shout out to Tyrell. This book is bonkers chaos. Okay. Colors, Mike Spicer, and the letter designer is John J. Hill. This book, oh my God. My list is plentiful. It's everything that's great from the 90s. Anything that you love about the 90s, this book is. It's just super glorious. It's a glorious book. It has this, like, the artwork and the opening have this Mad Magazine feel to it that I was just like, okay, I'm in a comedy world. I'm in this comedy world, and I don't know where it's gonna go. It's either gonna be a Debbie Downer or it's gonna be heartfelt or whatever. But the opening, I was like, I don't know where I'm going with this one. But then by the end, I was like, oh, there's gonna be some moments here. There's gonna be a little bit of a give and take of chaos, comedy, and heart. And I'm very looking forward to it. What else? Holy cow, this book is just action-packed. The first issue, you get your money's worth. And I talk about this a lot. Gail Simone says it. She said it. I'm just repeating it. You create a comic book with an infinite special effects budget because that's what your artist is. Your artist is an amazing person that can create amazing things. So do not hamper yourself in the realm of the world of whatever you're thinking of, the little box. Like, be bombastic, be crazy, and your artist will bring this world to life. And then you have the colorist, and then you have the letterer, and everybody kind of just makes the magic just work right, perfect. And that's what the Schlub is. The Schlub is a multi-million-dollar budgeted blockbuster film in a crazy idea in a superhero universe. Oh man, I almost got to the end of like pulling off that statement where it was like, bam, here you go. But the thing that's great about this book is it was fun. Like, I was just like, this is a cartoonist kayfabe book if I've ever seen one. Like, you have your superhero, you have your villain, you have your token realms, and then you like put it on its head, and then you use like quirky artwork. And I use quirky as like an endearing term because like the action is so well drawn, but like you have, it isn't a standard artwork that you would see. It isn't the Marvel prettiness. It isn't, the photorealistic work. Like, it's a comic book. It's what we love. It's a comic book. Somebody drew this. Somebody inked it. Somebody colored it. Like, and they brought it to life. And like, everything has character. This book has character. And I was just, it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, we have a setup. We have the twist. And now we have the end of the book, and I'm like, oh man, I really need the second issue. And I say this a lot because like I review books that I like, and I review books that I want to read the second issue. Like, this is a book that I want to read. I want to see where it goes. I want to see where the Schlub takes the superhero world and how he burns it down. Spoiler? I don't know. That's not a spoiler. But it's chaos. The book is just pure chaos. Like, and it's a lot of fun. It's so much fun. And I do have to ask, what is Murder Falcon? Who is Murder Falcon? Like, if you know who Murder Falcon is, please put it in the comments below. Because there's a panel where somebody like running in fear, and they have a shirt on, and it says Murder Falcon, and it like caught my eye. And I was like, I don't know who Murder Falcon is. Okay, so let's flip through this book real quick. Where is it? Here it is. So I love the blue. I love the way they set it up with the blue. It kind of has a Kirkman feel to it, almost like Invincible. I feel like the way they set up the book to it. But then like the opening page with Roger just in somebody's mouth as a dentist, I was like thinking about how I had to go to the dentist. I was like, oh man. My empathy kicked in. As you know, if you listen to the last episode, like I read the first episode of The Cull and like my empathy kicked in and I was just like sad. And I felt for each one of these characters. And then this is like, I don't know if it's the polar opposite, but my empathy kicked in and I was just like, oh man, this is going to be awkward. And it's so awkward to begin with. And it's brilliant. It's just the way you go in and you're in it. You were in it and it's just, they explain everything and I'm looking at the panel. You see the panel here. Like Roger's in this person's mouth and it's just all the awkward. It's awkward and intimate and gross and everything that you can like culminate in a page. Like there's so many different emotions and I'm just looking at like how things travel and how I want to turn the page and oh man, it's just, and I gotta stop. I gotta take a sip of water. The first page just, it's too much. And then you get into this second page is where I get this like Mad Magazine feel. And it could be just like the colors and how things are kind of laid out and the chaos in the background. And I'm just looking at every detail of the page, looking for jokes or hidden things that were going on there. And that's where I get my Mad Magazine. And that poor lady just sitting there. It's just, I feel for her so much. Ryan, like this poor lady needs to come back and there needs to be like, we just need to see her drinking a glass of wine at a nice restaurant and just being happy because what you put her through in the first part of this book is just insane. And then we get to page 3, which pops up right here. And this panel in the corner where there's just like rumble and how things are jittery. This is again something that like reminds me of Mad Magazine. I don't know why. I need to flip through some books. But well, Tyrell, definitely let me know your influences on this panel right here. Where Roger's like buzzing like he just got zapped by the hand zapper. Like there's something 60s, 70s Mad Magazine-ist about it. And then this poor lady, look at this poor lady. Stop it. It's so painful. It's so painfully awkward. It's so painfully awkward. The colors make it work. I think the colors add the campiness to it as well. And then John J. Hill on letters. I'm flipping through this book and there are special effects all over the place. And then the Krakoom, like it is done so well. And then you're introduced into this world. Like you're like, okay, I'm a dentist, things are happening, blah, blah. And like, there's kind of superheroes in the back world, but like, you're like, oh, is this going to be like The Boys? Like, no, it's not going to be like The Boys. Like, it's going to be something different. It's going to be something original. Like, it's going to be, it molds so well. And then just the way things are paced, it's back and forth. And then there's tons of special effects in there. Like, John is going crazy through this, just putting special effects and lettering and trying to fit the lettering around all the action that happens. Because it's okay, so you get this splash page. So, boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Basically, 10 to 11 straight pages of action. And it's done so well. It's very intense. It's very intense. It goes like awkward to action to like, we're gonna burn it down. So I would pick up the Schlub. If you're a cartoonist kayfabe member or follower, like, I feel like this is your book. Like, that last page of the last page of the book totally reminds me of 90s comics. Like, just the way it is, and it's overbearing, and it's perfect. Like, it's so out of proportion and chaotic, and like, it's everything I love about comics going on right here. And it's well framed. I just, man, it's interesting. Like, Tyrell, like, he knocks it out of the park with all the craziness that's going on in this. And Ryan and Kenny, they put together a really good story. So the Schlub #1 comes out on the 23rd of August. For me, it's next week. I don't know when you're going to see this video. But add it to your pull list and tell your comic books that you want it. And comment below if you know who Murder Falcon is. Take care, guys.